Hey everyone, welcome. It's 3 o'clock. It's Tuesday. That means it's Tech Tuesday. Today I'm going to be continuing on my series that I'm doing on TrueVision fiber diagnostics. So basically it's a application for checking out your fiber network, your GPON network. I'll be right back. Thanks for joining me. Rick Husey here. And again, continuing on my fiber diagnostics series here. So I wanted to show you a little bit more today of TrueVision Diagnostics. And last week I was talking about this panel here. So far what I've covered is I talked a little bit about the ONT screen, which I'm going to show a little bit of today as well. But I've talked about these two panels, and last week I was talking about this panel. Today I'm going to be talking about what you can see as far as bandwidth usage in the application. And again, just to kind of recap, this is the kind of diagnostics that is hard to come by in the fiber world. We've had this for a long time for our DOCSIS customers. Looks very similar. You know, we show the same kinds of things, just more from a perspective of cable modems and CMTS, but in this case we're looking at an OLT, and we try to put everything in a similar format so that if you've got both technologies, which is becoming more and more common, then you can have both both customers in the same pane of glass. You can query customers from the same interface and bring up their devices, and everything looks very familiar. Obviously some of the details are going to be different, but so we're looking at an OLT screen here, and today again I'm going to be looking at bandwidth. So this is something that a lot of times you don't have access to as a service provider in a easy to read, kind of easy to use format. So that's what we're trying to do with this screen, is combining a lot of the information that sometimes if you have an element management system that comes with your equipment, or that you get as part of your equipment, you have to kind of drill down into several different places to find stuff. And you can maybe find some bandwidth, but a lot of times you don't have nice charts for you and those kinds of things. So we put this on the OLT screen right here. We color code things. As you can see up here, we've got some warnings here, actually some alerts on some devices here. If these were an issue, if we had if we were reaching a capacity on this PON port right here, we show every PON port and the bandwidth. If there were more than these few that were here, you can just hit a little arrow and it will scroll over. But what you're looking at here would be green, there's no issue. But if this were, a certain percentage of bandwidth related to what's capable in that PON port, then it will turn yellow and eventually red. So you can see your issues there. And we always show worst to best. So we always show the most usage to the least usage. And again, if you could scroll if there were more PON ports here than the 4. There's nothing on this one here that we're seeing that's showing up. And then you could scroll if there were more. I'm going to show a screenshot of a plant that's got more devices on it. What I'm looking at here, just a reminder, but if you've been joining me, have not been joining me, is this is an actual live system, although it's on our development platform. So I call this the danger zone. So if something breaks while I'm in the middle of this, it could be a developer rebooting the system or something, because this is what we are developing the platform on. I show this when I can. If I need to go into, show a screen that might have customer information, I'm going to show screenshots, because I can't pull up any. Well, that's not true. Actually, on this system, we have some fake names and addresses, not fake addresses, but fake names at addresses where the device really isn't at in this system. So I can show some of that. But I will still show a few screenshots today as well. So again, looking at this, you can see that I've got my downstream bandwidth utilization and my upstream bandwidth utilization. Again, it's very clear here that if I pull up the screen, it could be, that the staff in your central office might look at this on a regular basis. Maybe the first thing they do is pull up this and see if we have any issues. They might see, if they've got any reds and yellows and things, and especially in bandwidth here, you'd be checking that out, and then they can go ahead and look at that. And I've talked again in the past about these two panels. I think what I'll do today, I haven't done it yet, is in the comments section, I'll post some links to the prior videos and what those are about, in case you want to scroll down there, click, and maybe review one of those other videos that I've done on a couple of these other panels. So this obviously, stands out right away. I can see it's green. I see no problem. I'm looking at it. It's always defaulted to the percent here, so I'm looking at a percentage of. I'm actually pointing around on the wrong screen here. I'm realizing I'm pointing around the screen I'm looking at and not this. So let me go back there. So again, I've shown this panel and this panel, and then last week I showed this panel on your PON status. Your status and the temperature of the lasers and the transmit power. And then I'm showing this panel today. So as I hover over these bars, I can see what the percentage is, and I see it's very small, so it's just about 1% on that. So, you know, obviously plenty of headroom here. And I can also change that to a value, so I can then look and see what the actual transfer is, and I can see that that is 24.32 gigabytes, I guess. No, that's megabytes. Is that, yeah, megabits per second. Megabits per second, yeah. So that's my throughput there. And I can scroll over any of those. Same thing on the upstream. I can do that as well. So I've got those here, although actually here I'm looking at percent. I can change that to value as well. You can see the heights really don't change much as far as the relationship, because it's just a matter of percent versus amount. Although the scale changes, and then it tells you what it is versus, you know, it's value versus, you see the changes to a percentage right here. So again, if you're looking at this and it's getting, if normally the percentage is here, you'd see immediately, like if it was yellow, you'd see what the percentage use is on that right here on the left, and you can scroll over, and then if you want to see what the value is, you can just click that little radio button and do that. Now the other really cool thing about these panels is that you can click on these, any of these, and when you do that, you will then pull up a list of all of the subscribers that are making up that bandwidth. And again, this being our development platform, we have loaded a couple of fake subscribers in here, fake names. These are real devices out in the world somewhere. They're just not in the world where we said they are, and these are not the people's names that they actually are. So most of them, though, are just identified by the PON port, and I guess maybe, what is that, a slot or something, and they're just identifying that particular device. And you can see up here what we've got. So we've got current upstream in megabits per second, then we've megabytes, maybe that's megabytes. We've got current downstream, we've got the last 24 hours and the last 24 hours, and then we've got the, oh, that's upstream and downstream. So I've got, sorry, it's hard to read over here in front of me. So last 24 hours upstream, last 24 hours downstream. So I've got some historical information there. So my current, kind of what's going on, this is my historical over the last 24 hours. And then I can also click over here, I can look at the last 7 days. And when I do that, I'm actually gonna get more than 7 days. So I'm just gonna click that. I gotta hit run. And I can change ports if I wanted to. I clicked on that particular bar in the chart, and it brought me to this right here, and it knows what access concentrator OLT I'm looking at. So I can go ahead and click run here, and then I get my last 7 days. And again, I've got the name of my customer here. If the name is in the database and their address and all of that will show up if I click on that. And then I've got my last 7 days. I've got, that would be up and down, and I've got my previous 7 days up and down. So really I've got 2 weeks here. So I can look at my last 7 and I can look at my previous 7. And if I total it up, I'd really be looking at a total of then 2 weeks. But I can see last 7 and previous 7, or again, I can look at here, click another one, last 30 days, hit run, and just wait a moment for that data to come up. And then I've got my last 30 days up and down, and then I've got my previous 30 days up and down. So in this case, I've got really more like 60 days of usage that I'm looking at. I've got last 30 and then the 30 before that, or I can total that all up if I wanted to, and I could see 60 days. And you can sort this any way that you want. If I wanted to see what's going on previous 30 days by upstream, I can click the little deal there. Do I need to hit run on that? No, I don't. So it just sorted for now. So now everything's sorted by that right there. And I can see what my top user was on upstream last 30 days. I could do the previous 30 days. I want to do that. Any of those I can click on and sort. And I can then see who that is over here again. Most of these don't have any actual customer names associated with them because they're just fake names that we put on a few of these. And then what else is there on here? Oh, so once I do that, there's a number of things I can do. I can save that to a CSV. So again, I can put that in a spreadsheet. So if I wanted to do a quick total of the last 30 days and 30 days before that, I can save that as a CSV and just do a quick summary or sum and then total that up. I can also send that to a printer. A lot of the reports that we have on here allow you to do this. I think probably they all do, where you can save it as a CSV or print it. So the CSV, for example, would be very helpful on some of these other reports that are showing you that you've got some subscribers that are experiencing a specific issue, and you can drill down and say, okay, who's who's experiencing maybe just a upstream transmit power issue, and you can actually do a report for just those users, and then you could save that to a CSV, for example, and then you can send that to somebody to go check that out or to look at those individually. So that's a nice feature there. And again, as well, I can, if I wanted to, I could change any of the ports here, although the one that I selected from the bar chart happened to be this one. And then also, I've got, again, links here to all of these devices. So any of these will take me to that particular subscriber's ONT screen. So I'll show that real quickly now on this particular one. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the second one down since I have a fake name associated with it, and it is at again, at an address that it's really not at, but I'm going to show it anyway. So when I do that, again, I can see here on this screen I've got some, well, first thing I was going to show is you've got some bandwidth information right here. So if I wanted to click in and see exactly what's going on with the subscriber, I do have some bandwidth information right here on this port summary. I can see these numbers right here for upload total and download total. This is the last 24 hours. And I can see here I've got a transmit level warning and a couple of, or alert and a couple, no, sorry, that's a warning and a couple of alerts, the red color for OLT receive level and receive level. I've got a minus 17.4 dBm and a minus 16.026 dBm. It's very possible that these numbers are not really what normally would flag something as a yellow or a red, because again, this being a development database, sometimes we'll adjust the threshold so that we can get things to turn yellow and red, just test things out. So I'm not totally sure about that, not being a fiber engineer. But and then we've got a little red down here. Operational status is down on video ports right here. So we've got a lot of information that pops up on the screen as you're maybe troubleshooting a single subscriber. Again, you've got their information here. You've got, again, a fake name and an address where it doesn't really live, and a fake phone number, you know, and those kinds of things. Then you've got, I've got the customer's device here. You can see the little home on that, and then you've got some nearby customers. I can zoom out on that. I can click and expand the map. I've showed that before, and I'll show that again in a later, and I'll go more detail into that in a later broadcast here. So these are some nice features here. And then I can scroll down, and I can see a little bit more as far as what's being transferred. So I've got downstream octets here, upstream octets, downstream unicast, upstream unicast packets, downstream multicast and upstream multicast packets, downstream broadcast packets. That seems like a lot, maybe. Well, it is a lot of usage. And then you've got upstream broadcast packets. So a little bit more information about this particular customer's data transfer as I do that. So I was also going to show, just in case this system, again, since it's the development system didn't work, I was going to show a couple of screenshots. And I will go ahead and do that just so you can see kind of another system that's got more ports on it. Let me just start that there. So this is one that you can see it's got more ports. So just give you an idea of, you know, the screen's pretty much the same, but you can see this is a actual service provider, their OLT, so you can see you do have some alerts here and warnings right here on these devices. And again, I go into more detail on this on a previous broadcast, so I'm going to go ahead and link to what these things mean if that's of interest to you and you didn't see that. Then we've got the same thing here, and I can scroll down and get more. So again, the way we display this on the screen is worst so that you can see it to the best. So the worst is up here on this particular port. This is the worst one. This has got the most devices that are in an alert stage. And then this has got, and that's related to the number of devices on that port. So this is 121, and here's 121 is down there, and I can't scroll because this is a screenshot. But just the percentage of devices that are in an alert stage here are telling me that that is red. And then there's a percentage of devices here that are in an alert stage, and that's telling me that's yellow because it's a lower percentage. Again, I go into more detail on that. Then over here again to our bandwidth, you can see, again, we've got more ports here now. So again, it's best to worst. So this is the most usage that I have. It's still not an issue. It's still green. But then as you go to the right here, you can see the usage is less and less and less. And again, these guys have got a lot of ports. As you can see the scroll bar here, I could scroll down further if I could scroll. And then I've got an arrow here. If I could click, you'd see that would go over and over and over, and you'd bring in more of these PON ports over here. But again, the ones over here to the right, generally not an issue. Unless you had, like reds and yellows all the way here, you're having some kind of issue. I can see, well, I really don't have much usage on these, but you've got that there. Then I was going to show also, just in case it didn't work, again, you can hover over any of these bars. And again, in case things didn't work, I showed this. So this is that, I just clicked on one of those bars here when I was looking at it a little bit earlier today. I went ahead and blurred out all the customer names. So in this particular service provider, they have all their customer names in here. So each one of these would be a name. And then you can see the information. Again, you can sort however you want. And I did click on one. I think I clicked on the top one to look at that. So here you get another look at a ONT screen. In this case, we don't have any issues, so we don't have anything coming up as red or yellow on here. You can see it's a different kind of access concentrator, OLT here. And then they don't have any voice or video service, so those panels, there's no data there. And again, you can see the map right here. So again, that gives you an idea of, let's see, can I go back from this? Yeah. That gives you an idea of this particular screen, and specifically really what I'm talking about today are these two bandwidth reports right here. So hopefully this is something that if you are a fiber provider that you'd be interested in having. If so, you certainly can give us a call or send us an email. Go to our website. You'll see more videos about that product, product sheet about TrueVision, specifically TrueVision Fiber or TrueVision DOCSIS, whichever that it is that you're interested in, and we will be certainly happy to talk to you there. I think I do have a question here. Just first, I'm not sure what the first means, but thanks for watching. So again, just reach out to us if we can help you, and hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Click the little bell. You'll be notified when I'm live, and I'll be live tomorrow with broadband deployment news at some point during the day. So I'll be covering a topic specifically about broadband deployment and everything that's going on with, with the infrastructure money that's coming out and other topics related to that. So I will be live tomorrow at some point during the day. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not, and then if you do, click the bell and you'll be notified. Thanks for joining me for Tech Tuesday. Next week I will continue on the OLT screen. I think I will be going through the online status panel. But again, after this is over, I will go ahead and link to the previous broadcast that I did on this OLT screen, so that if there's one of those little panels in there that you saw that are of interest, you can then click on that and get a little bit more information that I did not go into today. So thanks again, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.